Welcome to the Hidden Driveway Show. I'm your host, Amu, and then joining me today we have a very special guest, Cameron Shull. If you would like to introduce yourself.
I'm Cameron Shull. It feels good to say that it's a special guest. That you call me a special guest. I mean, that feels good. Yeah, I'm Cameron Shull. I'm 21, and I'm on here because I make music.
You do that.
Indeed.
So let's get us started. Is there anything that you would like to talk about? Is there anything on your mind right now?
Dude, my dog has been so annoying these past couple days. I've been waking up like 5:30 a.m. since Monday, and I go on like a run or whatever. And this dude, like, I come back home and she just like jumps on me the entire time, and like I lay down, I fucking sorry, can I cuss on here?
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
if I can cuss. Okay. And then I just stretch or whatever, and this dude just tramples all over me. But I know it's a random, but that's the first thing that came into my mind.
Yeah, what's your dog's name?
Mabel.
Mabel.
Yeah, she's a German Shepherd. She's one of the dogs that I know
Mm-hmm.
for sure, definitely.
Would you say that she's your dog?
Nah, she's
No.
not my dog. I don't know. He was my dog.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother ran it over on accident.
Oh, oh, damn.
I know. And what's crazy was that it was like 2021. I was like driving from my girlfriend's house to my house at that time. And I almost killed a dog that night driving. And there's just something in me that thinks like it was either me killing a dog or my brother killing a dog. I don't know why. It's such a weird coincidence. Like it doesn't feel like something's up. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, I'm glad that you managed to avoid that if your brother unfortunately couldn't.
Yeah, I mean it's I'm okay with it now, but it sucked then, but I'm good now.
Yeah, there's a neighborhood cat where I live that's like their owners ran it over like I think three separate times and he's still kicking.
That's insane. That's how.
All right, moving on though. So you just released Bloodlust, your second album that you said you made in under a month. So what was the process for working on it like?
So what happened? I was at the time. Let me think. At the time, I was really just in a very inspired. I usually just kind of take breaks from music and then just come back. Um, I come back and just kind of create just like a ton of stuff and then just kind of quit again. And that's what I did with Bloodlust. So I was just kind of making a ton of beats, and I wanted to try something new from like the closing shift, but I kind of figured that I was just best at stuff like that for right now, and I just kind of and I want to excuse me, I wanted to create a part two,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't a part two. I called it Bloodlust, and that was really the process of it. I would just be in the shed at night, and I was just like, okay, when should I stop making songs? And it was kind of hard to figure out like when to stop. But since I wanted it to be like the part two to the closing shift, I was just kind of like, I guess I'll just stop at seven. So I had six songs, right? And I was like shit, I need to make a seventh song. And that seventh song is just like the 7 second intro. And that intro is just like a very short snippet of just all of the songs, all the six songs combined together, just distorted as hell.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I thought, and it has a whole concept that I don't really remember, and that's why I wrote it down. I posted it on Instagram. I'm not really good with remembering like my concepts because it comes from like a subconscious state of mind, so I can't really just describe it like a speech, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why I always write it down. So yeah, that's what that is.
Do you want to explain like what the shed is?
Oh, I mean, it's just where I make music. I guess it's where I made a lot of memories with my friends. It was just like a thing. Like I just kind of felt like at the time, 2018, when me and my friends started to make music, we were kind of like we kind of realized there was a niche thing to just like kind of flex being DIY, like being in a shed. I guess. Like I mean, it's not really a flex to be DIY. Like I feel like that was kind of normal. But I guess what I'm trying to say is like it's just kind of like a marketing type thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
our logo is also a shed, and yeah, it's just we. I just think that I flex it so much because I've just made so much memories in here.
Yeah, speaking of that group though, so along with your solo work, you're also part of the group Schizo-Hybrid. So I was wondering, how did you guys first meet and like start working together?
I grew up with them. David and Angel I've known since I was like 11, and I kind of started becoming close friends with them when I was 14. We all just kind of had the same interest, and we just messed really well. And then one day I was just like we always were fans of music. And one day when I was 15, I was just like, let's just make music, and then we did. So yeah, I was 15 at that time, and I'm 21 now.
Yeah, I think that like 11 range was around the time I met. Well, no, I was like 10, but like 10, 11 was when I met most of the friends that I still make music with today. Although that was all through like Scratch and not like in person stuff. I still like outside of my friend Ken, I don't really have any people I like make music with like IRL at the moment, but I definitely want to. So I think it's awesome that
It's
you
def-
have something like that.
yeah, thank you. It's definitely harder. I feel like it's harder to make friends with a music style that's very niche, like in real life. I mean, so it's really cool that I got to work with people like uh David, Angel, Ziggy. I didn't even mention Ziggy. I'm sorry. I feel so bad for him, but it's cool that they learn to like appreciate the kind of producing style I put into the music, and because me, David, and Angel, we're at a point in our lives in around 2018. We just wanted to create like I don't know about Angel, but we just kind of wanted to create the weirdest shit possible, and we kind of grew a little bit, and I think at this point we're just like whatever sounds good sounds good. And then I guess the reason why I didn't really mention Ziggy that much is because he came in like 2021 and not like during the origins of it.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, I know you told me earlier that Schizo-Hybrid was like 9 people originally. So what was the like deal with that?
I think it was 9 people. I don't really remember the number. It was at least like 7. It was just a ton of people who created. I wanted to create Schizo as like a multimedia thing. I wanted like musicians. I wanted like filmmakers. I wanted just like marketers. But that's what I wanted initially with Schizo. So that's why I just had like a ton of people. They were all just kind of musicians though.
Hmm.
They all had their own distinct sound, and I just like how we all have just different creative minds just to create one thing that we just didn't know we could make.
Hmm. Yeah, it definitely shows with Schizo-Hybrid stuff, especially on the. I can't think of the full name. It's like the three high schoolers in a shed. Is that the name of it?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's like it's like industrial party music. That's like the best way I can describe it in terms of like the sound of that project.
yeah. So I be listening to that in like 2022, and I was talking with David, and we both didn't realize how industrial that was. We thought we were making like just rap music, like straight up like boom bap shit, kind of. Or we knew we were making like alternative, but we didn't understand how interesting it was.
Hmm.
If that makes sense, like outsider type. I mean, I feel like it's a little bit of outsider,
Yeah, I can
but
kind of see that. It feels like something you find on like Bandcamp randomly.
yeah, just like, and you're just kind of like, what the hell is this? Like that's kind of the vibe I get with it, especially like with the album cover and stuff. Like it's
Yeah.
just like what? It's confusing. Yeah, I'm really glad that I'm not in that era of my life anymore.
Okay, but to go back to that a little bit, so there's a bonus
Yeah.
track on the Clothing Shift called "Visco Girl Anthem," and
Uh
Visco Girls were like a very common thing when I was a freshman in high school. Because I was a freshman in
huh.
like 2019, 2020. So I was wondering, what was your freshman year of high school like? So that would have been like 2016, right?
Yeah, my freshman year of high school, I was 13 and 14. Or let me ask you, what do you think I was like when I was a freshman in high
I
school?
don't I don't know. Um, I mean, I know just from what you told me, like definitely like a little like edgy, which like obviously not anymore, but that's like how you were at the time.
All right, so you're gonna be surprised. I was like the whitest kid in the world. Like not even like edgy white, but just like when it comes to like I don't want to say like a proud American because I wasn't. It was just more like whitewashed. I was really whitewashed. I didn't really make music. I played basketball like all the time. I was on a basketball team. I wanted to play in college at the time,
Hmm.
and I definitely could have if I kept going, but I chose to make music instead. But I was just really athletic. I was really obsessive with it and kind of in an unhealthy way. I didn't really realize that at the time. But besides that, I was just kind of just like a whitewashed kid.
So a whitewash kid.
I was just like, like it's just like some kid, some awkward kid named Brad, like in college, who's like a computer science degree or something. It's just kind of like that. Like, but I also was a little edgy though, but I wasn't as edgy as I took it when I was like a junior and senior. Because like freshman and sophomore, I was like a completely different person than like my junior and senior year. But yeah, I wasn't focused on music at all. I would just listen to it. I was more into just like I was like the biggest Logic stan in the world. Like, dude, it was insane. Like, and even though I look back and kind of like was kind of like about that now, if I wasn't a fan of Logic at that time, I wouldn't have developed the artistic connection with David because he was also the biggest Logic fan. So we ended up just expanding our music taste over time, and that's how we meshed very well. So I don't regret it, but I look back, I like Logic's music, and while I don't hate it, he definitely has talent and stuff. It's just kind of like and no disrespect. It's like I really like because he seems like I watched some interviews about him. He seems like a really cool dude. It's just like not all music is for everybody.
Yeah, I never had a Logic phase, but I used to bump him. I forgot what's the album he dropped in 2020 that was like a sequel to his like other album. Like
I stopped following. Oh, No Pressure.
Yeah, No Pressure. Yeah. But the intro to that album was my alarm during like COVID for a lot of it.
Yeah, I heard that album was pretty good. I listened to a couple songs off of it, and I really like the beats. But my problem with Logic has always been like he's just a ripoff of everybody else you can listen to. I don't want to like criticize like other like musicians and stuff or like because it's like it's their own mind and stuff and everything, but like it comes from their heart, it comes from their soul, and I don't want to judge their heart and soul. You know what I mean? But I also like want to understand that like people have different perspectives on other people's lives, and if they don't like it, that's completely okay. Like it doesn't mean like you hate them, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
The last time I was like properly excited about a Logic project was it didn't even come out, but do you remember when he was I don't know if you would have known this, but he dropped a song with Madlib that was like really good. And they teased the whole like project of that and it just never went anywhere.
When was this?
Like 2021, I think.
Yeah, I started following Logic like a long time before that. So yeah, I didn't know anything about that. That's cool. I would have listened to that.
Yeah, sure that Bootleg would talk about it, like all the time when it first came out. But yeah.
Wait, actually, I think I know what you're talking about. I think I do. It's just on the back of my head.
Yeah.
It sounds very familiar. But yeah.
Yeah, as for me, like my freshman year of high school, I was like kind of similar in the way that I like had a complete flip later on because it was a new like school district for me, right? So I didn't really know most of the people there because I had to transfer into it. But I was just really quiet, and I spent most of the school year like observing people instead of just like actually talking to them because I was too like nervous to do it. I feel like now I'm like a much more like, confident person, even if I still have issues with that sometimes. But like literally, like plus like I got a bunch of like school shooter jokes because my parents would force me to like get like a buzz cut. So I'm this like quiet white kid with a buzz cut that's not talking in class, and you can imagine the stereotypes that like come with that.
Dude, that's everybody thought like if anyone was going to do that to the school I went to, it would have been me. And everyone would think that I would do that. And like it makes sense, like given the fact that like I mean, not even just a stereotype, but just like the type of music I made. You know what I mean? Like it's just kind of tied together. And I promise you, in no way would I ever do that. It's just it's just like I understand, I relate because people have told me the same thing several times.
Yeah, but like I looked like McLovin. Like I was gonna be McLovin.
I see that. That's crazy.
You know, I'm like yeah. Then I grew up my hair a lot, and I got like a bunch of. I still get them now, but like like Robbie Shapiro from Victorious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
yeah, dude. I didn't tell you that, but I thought the same thing.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I was watching it a couple months ago, and I noticed that, and I was like, this looks exactly like you.
Yeah. Do people ever tell you that you look like somebody? Because I can't I can't personally think of anyone that you look like, but
Before I grew my beard and gained some weight, I would kind of make fun of myself and just kind of call myself like all just kind of the skinny white people with curly hair. Like I would, or people would say I look like Michael Cera for some reason. Before I like gained some weight and grew my beard, and Jesse Eisenberg, the guy from the Social Network.
I
Uh,
have to look up. I have to look up what that guy looks like because I don't remember. Hold on.
I don't think I look like any of those people anymore, but I used to have like a similar hairstyle and body type.
I can kind of see Jesse Eisenberg like slightly, but like not really. Not Michael Cera
There was
though.
this one dude. There was this one dude. Speaking of freshman year of high school, there was this one dude who looked just like me when I was a freshman. He's a YouTuber. He goes by the name of the Double Agent. He's a music guy. I used to kind of get clowned on for looking like him,
Hmm.
but yeah, I can't really think of anyone else. I've seen like people with similar hair types as me, but not like face.
Yeah. All right. So going back to your music, everything about it is super unique to me, from like the harsh industrial sounds of the closing shift to like the rock samples on BLOODLUST, and you have your very animated vocal style that you use like throughout all your projects. So I was wondering, who are some of your biggest influences?
Honestly, I think like the people who I made music with, specifically like my group, they've influenced me to do things other ways. Starting out, I was just an Earl Sweatshirt ripoff. I dropped like an EP in 2019. It was just like a some rap songs ripoff. I ended up developing like a sound in 2020 that was kind of like an alt rap. I don't even know how to explain it. I don't. Yeah, you just have to listen to it, and it's nowhere online. It's just like it's very outsider, in my opinion. I would say Earl Sweatshirt. With my voice, I started listening to Earl Sweatshirt, then my voice drops.
Mm-hmm.
Like I practiced. Like I wanted to practice the voice of Earl Sweatshirt, and keep in mind, like at the time, I was like my voice dropped once already, but it was still kind of high.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of kept practicing, and then one day, it's probably a coincidence, but then my voice just got deep, and I was like, oh shit, I'm rapping like Earl Sweatshirt now because like my voice is deep. I kind of just mumble very slowly, like, and yeah, that was my biggest influence initially. As time went by, I would get influenced by other just like JPEG Mafia. David was influenced by JPEG Mafia in his delivery. Like this one song specifically by JPEG Mafia, I'm influenced by. It's Curb Stomp. His performance on that shit is insane, and I've always wanted to replicate his screaming. So not only is like the JPEG Mafia delivery, I would love to try to replicate myself. It also inspired me to look at deliveries as voice acting, which is why I probably, like you said, like I sound animated because I always want to try something different with my deliveries. I just feel like it makes it more attention grabbing. Like people will get less bored. I don't want to make the same song over again.
Yeah.
Beat style, it really I have no idea, dude. I don't know. It just kind of comes from my head. It's just like everything I listen to all into one, and I feel like I can say that for every artist.
Yeah. I feel like there's no one I really get like that like comes to mind when I listen to your music, especially with Bloodlust. Like that's very just like you. I feel like the one
Exactly.
song that's like I can hear influence on. We've talked. This was like Cemetery on I can't think what the song name is. It's like something in suffering, right?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so and I was going to continue something like that. So each song just has a little bit of influence from everybody. Like someone like Cemetery, like the closing shift. I wanted that, and I've told you this before. I wanted that to be if I was a Haunted Mound member, like my own version of that. And yeah, with the Alone in Pain and Suffering song, that is definitely Cemetery
Mm-hmm.
influence or Cemetery influenced. But like it really depends with each song I create. And I'm trying to explain this well. It's like I go with each song thinking like I want this vibe, regardless if I like that kind of music or not. And I'm going to do what I think is best towards that song. So even if I don't like their music, I'm just kind of like, oh, like this is like such a good energy towards the song that I'm making,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I do it. Like the song "Burn It." Do you remember that song?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and that song, I was like, oh, like this sounds like old X, and I was like, okay, so like and I wasn't thinking about old X at the time, but I think I was subconsciously like, I kind of want to scream like him. So that's what I did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. I was going back to, well, I listened to all your stuff like to prepare for this.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah, that song was like, that song is so good, dude.
Thanks. Yeah, yeah, that was one of the first songs that I kind of made without samples. Besides, like, I do have a sample in there though, but it's not like a melody or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything else I made from, and I just think that's kind of cool. But when the drums hit and I'm just like, learn it, like I get goosebumps listening to that. Like sometimes I just listen to my own music and I'm just like, I love my music. That's very that was inspired by 21 Savage running when he's like running, and I was like, I want to do that, and like mixed with like a distorted sound, and it kind of gives me a Cemetery vibe a little bit. I don't know. I just think that sounds, my opinion. I think that sounds dope as hell. but
Yeah.
yeah.
Was there a sample on Accidentally? Because that was the first song of yours I heard, I think. And when I was hearing it, I was like, how did he make this? Because I don't even know like how you go about doing a beat like that.
No, there's no sample to that. It's just like it was the FO Studio preset. I can actually look for it right now if you want. I can look for it. I think it was called like Beat Map. That's what it is. Beep Map. That is that's the preset I used, and I kind of was just playing with the sounds, and then I heard the sound of what you hear in the song, and I was just kind of like, this is hard. I made that song in a parking lot. I recorded that with Mac on the MacBook, like the vocals on the MacBook, and I was just recording it in a Home Depot
Oh, like
parking lot.
with the MacBook mic?
Yeah, I was just screaming my ass off in a parking lot. I also like that song. I sent that to someone. I used to do. I used to go on TikTok and tell people like, or not tell people, but promote my songs. So like they listen to it and they review it or whatever. And I never really found an audience for it, because when I showed them that song, they were just like, "This beat is like the worst thing I ever heard." Like, and I'm just like, they're like, the vocals were pretty good, but like everything else was like the worst thing I ever heard. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, that's not for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like like I feel like you have to have the ear for that kind of sound to appreciate it. Because like if I showed that to my dad, he would definitely just think it's noise.
Yeah, he's the guy who told me that, he said it sounded like a computer, the melody. And then I told him, he said he was just confused. He was like, what do you like, how did you even get the influence for this? And I was like, and he didn't even I showed him Zilla, is it Zillakami or Zillakami?
I think Zolokami.
Yeah, so I showed him that because I was kind of influenced by his vocals in that song. And he was like, dude, like I already know the song. Like the song's great. And then like I wasn't really thinking, because I didn't really know who it was influenced by. Oh, it was influenced by God's Wisdom.
Oh yeah.
The God's Wisdom, DJ Lucas. That's who it was influenced by. But I just showed him Death Grips. He didn't know what Death Grips was. So I showed him that, and it was so funny because he was just staring at the computer just like that for like 10 seconds. And he was just like, yeah, like I can't believe this has 400,000 views. But that whole he was really nice though. He was really cool. And the comments were really supportive too. They were like, this is definitely like a niche thing that like people in like an underground thing would appreciate. So they weren't like assholes or anything. So
Yeah.
that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that was, yeah, no, that was the song that, so little secret. So me and Cameron have a song together that might be coming out at some point over this summer. And Carter showed me accidentally when it came out. And I'd had that song like in mind for like a while. And then like I knew I wanted somebody to like yell over the beat that I sent Cameron. I was like, this is the guy I need to get to do it. That's why I started talking.
And I'm really honored because I was really honored you reached out, and I'm really glad that you showed me that beat. I don't want to say too much about it because it's not released.
Yeah, I mean, we actually in the last interview we talked about because I had so little segue into the next. Actually, no, it's not the next question. Never mind. But I had Elijah B on in the last video. He's also in that project, and we talked about it for a little bit at the end.
Oh, so it's okay then, or no?
Well, like you can talk like it's talking about
I'll
sounds people don't know exist, so it doesn't matter.
I'll just say that beat is insane. That's all I'll say. That beat's crazy as hell. But yeah, that's all I'll say.
Yeah, the song with Elijah was funny though, because technically the song I have with him on there is like the actual first like teaser I did for it. Because I
Mm-hmm.
got interviewed by my friends on like their radio show at our college.
Mm-hmm.
So like they do like interviews and they play like music in between. And then at the end of the show, we played that song. So for all like maybe like 15 people that were listening, they got to hear that song early. But it's
Oh,
it's
that's
it's not
dope.
saved anywhere though, so like you can only have heard it if you were like listening at that time. But
That's crazy. That's like some lost media shit. I love that. I love lost media shit, like looking for things, and I love sampling unknown songs too. Not for legal reasons, but it's just like I guess like the lore behind it.
yeah,
Yeah, I actually I'm making beat packs, and I have a song that's like I think it's like a Persian sample, and it's just called like Unknown Track. Yeah, that's I don't know. I like sampling music that no one knows.
yeah, it's cool because I feel like that can kind of become the way people know that song is like through the sample in a way.
Yeah, that too. And you like when you're saying like when you're like, oh hey, I know the original song. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying like people find out about the original because you sampled it.
Yeah, that too. I love sampling. I love the art of sampling. I have probably like 400 records. However, I don't have the right record player to sample off records. So it's just like there, which
Hmm.
sucks, but it's still cool because I can like find a record and just kind of look it up online and just
Yeah,
like it's not even on like Discogs. So I'm just like, this is awesome. Like I just love like, and I wanted to create a YouTube channel off finding unknown vinyl records, like searching for the people who made it and like have it be known. That
hmm,
was like 2022. But I never did that.
yeah. I know you have a lot of video ideas. I don't know if you. I can cut this out if you want, but I know you wanted to do that like Dean Blunt iceberg.
Yeah, I do. I don't know how I'm gonna do that though. That's one of my ideas I have. I just need to listen to every single thing he's ever made.
Yeah, I gotta get back on that. I was really good about doing it in 2022, I think, and then I think
Mhm.
after I think I got to like 2017 and then stopped. So I need to listen to like whatever he dropped like in between then.
I just need to start listening to music again in general to just have a fresh mind. I don't listen to music like how I used to, and it sucks. I feel like listening to music every day makes me a better producer, makes me a better performer and everything. Because it's just you're always finding new things to be influenced by. And that's what I feel like music is. Like music, you're just constantly being influenced by every single thing around you, whether it's music, whether it's movies. I love taking influence from movies, whether it's paintings, whether it's nature, it could be anything. And that's what I love about art. Like especially if it's like I said, when it comes to like gaining influence from like other forms of art and putting it in the art that you specify in, it's like you're translating. Like it's like translating a language.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that I had this is something I wanted to talk about. In 2021, I had an idea. It would have been the closing shifts, but a concept album with do you know Endless by Frank Ocean?
Yeah.
I wanted to do I wanted to make like I don't know how to is it called a video album? Is that what it's called?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to make that. I wanted to make one of those, and it was about the concept of how therapy doesn't the mental health crisis in America, how that collides with capitalism. That's what I wanted it to be about. And I made a couple songs off of it, but I scrapped some of them, even though I would like to release them, but I won't. The only one that is released is Donde está mi primo. That one was supposed to be on that scrapped album. I love that. I like that song a lot
Hmm.
too.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites on the closing shift. Also,
Yeah, thank you.
speaking of the closing shift though, another song of that project is "Fuck with the Mop." So I was wondering,
Uh
are
huh.
there any inanimate objects you think you could beat in a fight if they were like alive?
I could beat a microwave.
Could beat a
Just
microwave,
as long as it's unplugged, I could beat a
so
microwave.
when it's defenseless.
Yeah, it's just gonna microwave. You know, like it's. I mean, like I use microwave as a verb. Like it's going to microwave. Like
Hmm.
like just there. When you say become like a real person or like Is that
No,
or
I'm
is that
talking
what you're
like I'm talking like the Brave Little Toaster, like if it's like that.
I've heard of that, but I don't remember what that is.
It's just like it's like if my chapstick could like walk and talk and like do whatever it wanted.
Well, I could beat your chapstick,
Well,
that's
yeah,
for
I think
sure.
I could beat my chapstick too.
Like if I want to test myself, I would probably like try the Jumbotron in Chase Center, where the Warriors play.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try. I feel like you can make like a shitty anime out of
And that'd be
that.
like David and Goliath.
That'd be crazy. That's a funny idea, but yeah, that's my answer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Another
never.
fight. So I talked about Elijah B in the last episode, and I actually lost to him. So and I want to reclaim my honor. So can we play
Wait.
a match of rock paper scissors?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right, that's 2 out of 3, and you have to close your eyes when you do it because there's like a little delay.
Okay. Sure.
All right,
Yeah.
rock,
Okay.
paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, okay, you beat me on that one.
Okay. Again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. You tied.
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, bro, I lost 2 times in a row. No,
You gotta get your game up.
dude, I was doing so good. I had a 3-person streak going, and now I'm on a 2-person losing streak.
Do you count like how much you win, how much you lose, like throughout all the interviews? Is that what you're doing?
Well, yeah, no, I want to make like a spreadsheet that has like everybody because this is the 15th video. So
You should. That'd be. Oh wait, you said you want to or you have it?
no, I want to. It would only take like 2 minutes to
Good.
make, but I just need to actually like sit down and make it.
You should. That'd be funny. I support that.
Okay, maybe this is a me thing, but there's like I feel like there's a very like surreal and dreamlike look to some of your covers. So that being said, what are some of your favorite or like most memorable dreams that you've had?
The traumatic ones. um, I'm a very paranoid person. And sometimes like my nightmares, like I think about them like a lot, like not like subconsciously, they kind of come in. There's this one that I had when I was a kid. I would go out to the backyard. My dad would be just kind of working or whatever. Like he's kind of like he's into like cars and stuff. He likes working on cars. And I would have to like run back into the house before like a vampire kills me. And I only go inside that house like 5% of the time. Like I go back in like 5% of the time. So it would kill me like all the time. I remember a lot of my dreams. It's kind of unhealthy because I'm very paranoid about like all my dreams. Like whenever like it's actually an issue. but yeah, that's the one I remember the most.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been having like a recurring one recently where it's really weird. I'll be like in public and then randomly I'm just like naked and I have to like hide myself.
Yeah, I feel like that's normal. I've had one before. I had like a long T-shirt and I was like 7 years old in the dream and I was just like at school and like no one cared.
You know,
except for me.
No, in mine that I had recently, it was like all people my age, but we were in like an elementary school classroom, and for some reason I had to change my clothes. So I got to like the back of the room where no one could see me, and I was like changing. So I was like completely naked, and then a bunch of 5-year-olds walked in and like started looking at me. I was like, oh, and then I got like my clothes on, and then this like older guy came in and was like, hey, we're gonna have to like talk to you for a second. You know, that was like public indecency to like minors. And they were gonna call like the FBI on me. I was like freaking out, and then I woke up and I was like, oh.
I feel like dreams are kind of your subconscious artistic state, especially with like postmodernism. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I take a lot of influence with the dreams that I have, and sometimes I wish I remember my dreams. I make music in my dreams. I rap verses in my dreams. My girlfriend says that I rap in my sleep. So like I wake up and like I have like an amazing beat in my head, and then I'm just like, what was it? Like I don't remember it, and like I can't replicate it. And then there's sometimes to where I make a beat 8 months after I dreamed about making that beat. That's happened a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
it's just deja vu kind of. So yeah, my dreams really trip me out.
Yeah, hold on. Okay. I'll be right back. 1 second. Yeah, I have a thing where like when I'm about to fall asleep, I'll compose like a whole song in my head, and it's like the craziest thing ever, and then I go to sleep and forget about it.
I've seen I think I read a book when I was in high school. I think it was a book. It was like this one famous musician. I think it was, is it Robert Smith? Is that the guy from The Cure?
Yeah.
Do you know? I think it was him, but don't quote me on it. It was either him, David Bowie, Lou Reed, one of those guys. Um, he said that he had like the greatest composition he's ever thought about, and he was driving, and he chose to forget about it because he wasn't working. Like he didn't want to stress about his work while he was doing something else. And I feel like a lot of artists do that. They kind of just live through their art, which there's nothing wrong with, but because I do that too, I just feel like sometimes it can get a little overwhelming. And it also, but at the same time, it also makes me think like, what was that composition? Like, I want to hear that so badly. But
Yeah, one thing I've tried doing is obviously I can't like go make the whole song if I'm trying to sleep at 2 in the morning. But sometimes if I'll get like a cool word or something, like a song title, I'll like put it in my notes app just so I don't forget
I do
about
that
it.
too. I had one too. I used to do the same thing, but I haven't had that in a while.
Mm-hmm.
I like to view myself as like a fan of art, like, and I feel like everyone is a fan of art, and I'm just like contributing to life through my art in a way.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of people. I feel like everyone's like that, but I mean, you just gotta express your emotions, because that's how you feel.
yeah. Speaking of how you feel, you have a song with A-Hype called "Never Give Up." So, what are some things that you're
Yeah,
really passionate about?
my relationship. This is funny. Like I feel like such a loser. Like I'm just like thinking about it. I'm definitely passionate about art. Um, any forms of art. Yeah, that's really about it. I'm just passionate about expression
Mm-hmm.
in any sort of way possible. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, my little thing is I like parks a lot. I'll go to parks. Like my goal when I have like my own place that I live, I need to live like right next to a nice park, and I can just walk there whenever I want.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I've always wanted. I walk sometimes to gain influence on things. But what I mostly do is just look at other people's art and just kind of ask myself, like, how can I do my own version of this?
Mm-hmm.
And just like combine just like so much stuff together and just shit it out.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I've always been doing. There was this. Do you know how I've mentioned out the Skims?
Mm-hmm.
I want to let you know on the interview what that is because I've never told you what that is.
Yeah, I tried looking up afterwards. I couldn't find it. As I was like,
Yeah, so I'll tell you what it is. So it was a mixtape that I made. It has like 11 tracks on it. Um, the reason I deleted it was the same reason why I want to delete the old Schizo music because I just don't want to get canceled. And if I do, I mean, it makes sense. But it makes sense if I do. But at the same time, I'm not like I don't like cancel culture. But I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. Is that a thing still?
I feel like you can't like really get like canceled anymore. It's like people like be like, this guy did this thing, and people just kind of forget about it after a week.
And
But also
I
in your
just feel
case,
like
like that's not even who you are anymore as a person. Like the stuff that you'd
it's
be
not.
like,
Yeah, no, it's not who I am anymore as a person. It's interesting to look back on and re-listen to. But yeah, it was a studio, or not studio album. It was just like a mixtape that I just kind of threw together. I don't know. Maybe I'll send it to you. I don't know. I'm kind of embarrassed by it. It's really bad. It's kind of like in the same sound as the
mm-hmm,
Schizo, but it's a little more like alternative, or not alternative, but like less industrial.
mm-hmm.
It's a little more cloudy.
Plus, you're kind of on your like spiritual lyrical. Like I feel like y'all rap like that a lot on the Schizo album, also like for the verses.
Yeah. So, or can you give more context? Like, what do you mean?
I just feel like y'all would have these very like wordy like verses where y'all weren't really saying anything, but it sounded like you were trying to. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I get that a lot from people do say that a lot. I totally get what you mean, and I just think it's kind of the influence that we've had to just be very like I don't want to say spiritual lyrical or whatever, but like I guess more less mumbly, more speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? I just think that's just the influence that people have had. Did you hear the song "Wrote It" at all?
Was that on the album?
No, it's a different single that came out before 5550s.
Wait, let me check. Oh, Warded. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That one I liked.
Thank you. Yeah, I totally get what you mean though. I feel like some verses that people say is very like not really any substance, but and that's why like me personally like I'm not, and I've kind of told them this before, like the people in my group that like I wouldn't really make something like that with anybody else. It's just kind of like I just like throwing everyone's ideas together and just making art. If it's their ideas, it's their ideas. Like,
Yeah.
so.
All right, this is more of like a checkup question on you, but there's a lot of themes regarding mental health and self-hatred on Bloodlust. So I was wondering, how are you feeling now that you're like a few months removed from working on that project?
Uh, I appreciate you asking that. Yeah, so that album was kind of just more of, well, okay. Before I answer that, did you end up reading? Did you read my Instagram post or no?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so because it would have altered depending on if you read it or not. That was just kind of more of everything I've experienced and how I felt in my life. It's not necessarily how I feel now, even though I feel like yes, I could feel better, but me personally, I'm kind of pushing towards better things. I'm transferring to college. I'm putting better routines in my life, and I feel like with me just only wanting to be a producer and just not really rap anymore. I feel like that's also a part of just becoming a better person and growing.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate you asking that, but I'm okay. I could be worse. I could be better. But yeah, I do have OCD, and that that sucks. But besides,
Yeah, I've got autism, so like I feel you on that like a
yeah,
little bit.
yeah, it sucks. But besides that, you just gotta live with it.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
I mean that's all you know, so you can't really be like, man, I wish I didn't have this thing, because like then you wouldn't really be you if you didn't.
it's kind of crazy. Like I've been kind of doing like mental health things since I was like 15, like getting like treatment, and they just kind of figured out I had it like last year, and it's just kind of crazy because when I'm in my worst mentally, my OCD skyrockets, and it's insane. Like it's crazy. Like, but yeah, I'm managing better with it now, so I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm glad you're feeling better, because I was worried when I was reading through that, just considering what it was about. But I'm glad you're doing good.
I wasn't like trying to worry people either. Like it's not that's not what I was trying to do at all. Like, and I appreciate like your concern and everything. It's just I just like expressing how I have felt in the past and just everything that I have felt in general.
Mm-hmm.
In no way am I like oh like someone save me or something like with what I create and what I posted. I just wanted to tell it how it was and what I wanted to
Yeah.
express because that's what I expressed in the music.
Okay, and then we've talked about this a bit, but I know that you want to go in a new direction now that Bloodlust is out. So what's next for Cameron Shull? Like I know you already said you want to focus more on producing, but what else?
What's next for Cameron Shull? I would say I'm trying to blow up. Like I'm trying to blow up. Like seriously. Like I'm frustrated at the position I'm in artistically, and I'm getting impatient because I've been doing this for a while, and I'm getting pretty impatient. And with Schizo, I was talking about this with David last night, and I think I've told you this as well. It's like I can't wait for them to be available for me to have a career. So yeah, I'm not gonna be rapping for a significant amount of time. I'm just gonna be sending beats, or I'm gonna be making beats and just sending them to as much people as I can,
Mm-hmm.
and get my out there. And once I have my name out there, I'm going to probably just start rapping again because I like rapping. Don't get me wrong. It's just an added responsibility, and if I just do everything by myself, which I do, no one's really gonna see it just because I'm the only one doing it. Like no one is a part of it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So that's what's next for me.
Yeah, I think that's so true, and just having to have like a circle of people to do stuff with, because especially if it's like your friends will like promote you, if it's just like putting you on like their story and stuff, it's like expanding your work out to like other people that might not have known about it otherwise.
Yeah, and people do that, and I really appreciate that. I totally do. I do. It's just I'm just saying in general. It's just like even when I do have that, like I'm kind of in the position to where like I'm hungry. Like I want more of that. Like not even just stories. I just want like I want to make a living off the things I love doing. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hopefully,
Yeah.
you know, I'm excited. Like with all these, I'm excited to see like where people are like a few years after these come out because it'll be really interesting to see and like look back and be like, wow, he was here and now he's here.
It would, yeah, and I'm really thankful to be on this. I haven't gotten interviewed very much, but when I do, it always feels good.
Mm-hmm.
So
Thank
thank
you.
you. Yeah.
And then as the episode comes to a close, is there anything you'd like to give a shout out to?
Shout out to you for having me on this interview. Shout out to Jalen Brunson. They should be in the finals right now. I'm talking basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I fuck with Jalen Brunson. Yeah, shout out Jalen Brunson. That's it.
That's it. All right. Well, shout out Jalen Brunson and shout out Cameron
And my mom.
Shull and Cameron's
Shout out
mom.
me. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out Cameron Shull. Thank you
And
so
my
much for
brother
coming on
Steven.
today, and his brother Steven.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on today. It was really awesome talking to you. This is one that I've wanted to do for a while. I just didn't know when the right like time was. But I think now that BLOODLUST is out, it makes a little bit more like sense to do it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you were free, I was ready. I wasn't like, I wasn't gonna be a jerk and be like, hey, like, when are you doing this? Like, I don't want to be entitled as a person. So
yeah, because I think you're like I posted on my story initially like who would be down to be on it back in February. I think you were the very first person that like said something. So
yeah, because I was on Instagram and I posted it. You posted it like 20 seconds ago, and I'm like, it's kind of weird, but like, fuck it. So yeah, I really do appreciate you having me on. I really do.
Yeah, check all those links will be in the description down below if you want to go check out his music, which I highly recommend you do. And
thank you.
It's been the Hidden Driveway Show. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, thank you. Shout out you. Shout out just the whole interview. I really love that you want to put people on. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Just like not even for me, but just everybody. Just thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I want to have just like some sort of platform that everybody can use, because like I feel like with like I always post people's stuff in my story, but like I guess just having like a one unified place that everybody is like, these are people that are all doing cool things, and they're all like aware of it because of this page. Like I think that's really cool.
Yeah. So yeah, just thank you for everything that you do. Like me as well as all these other artists really appreciate it. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.